Hello and welcome to another episode of the Tip Balls Podcast. I'm your host, Sam Randazzo, and I'm joined by my two slightly vile co-hosts. To my right, it is the one, the only, the extraordinary Uncle Sam.
Hello?
See, we didn't get a good evening today. That's how you know he's pissed. He's pissed. There was no good evening. It was just we reverted back to the old ways. And to my left, it's our very own Mr. Zolo, Mike Palazzolo.
God bless.
And as worthless as ever, Bruce, the tugboat. Vindity.
Extra worthless today.
Extra worthless today, yeah. Extra fucking worthless. You know,
It was even better seeing him with his hat off, and he was telling me how he only washes his hair twice a week.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Are you losing your hair?
No.
at a rapid rate, yeah.
No, I'm not.
You should lose your eyebrows.
If Bruce was on camera, our first sponsor would have been Rogaine by now without question.
I read a really good article in The Athletic on Josh Dobbs today.
Did you?
Yeah, it was good.
I'll bet you Bruce smells like a sweaty ball bag right now. Go over there and sniff
Oh, no,
his head.
he does a
Go smell his head.
45-minute cleansing every day when he gets home from the gym. That's why he's
What do
not
you,
ready to start his
whoa,
day
what do you
till
mean?
like 3 o'clock.
What's that mean?
He does the shower. He's got to do all that after the gym every day.
I shower for like 5 minutes.
Yes, but whenever you say anything, you're like, I left the gym and I got to go home.
45-minute cleanse?
Yeah.
What does that mean? You rub
takes-
one out?
No, I go home. I hop in the shower.
He's got to poop. He's got to make his
Yeah, you do-
chicken.
you do
Let me-
have
let
to-
me ask you a
gotta-
question.
You have to
Eggs.
poop
When you go to the
right after
bathroom, you like
shower.
undress totally?
No.
No?
You don't
Unless
shit
I'm
in the
about to
nude?
hop in the shower, yeah.
No, there was a buddy of mine, shout out to Mac and Addict, my brother Tony's friend.
Attic.
Matt used to have to get totally naked to go to the bathroom.
So does my brother Joseph.
That motherfucker would strip
Hey,
down like to nothing.
The swear does that
Take
too.
a shit.
Yeah.
And when he takes a shit, I remember when we were at Alger, when he took a shit, he'd be on the toilet for easily an hour and a half.
Who's the slut?
Easily.
Legs
Joseph.
up on the squatty potty.
Yeah, he'd go in there and he'd just sit on the toilet for an hour and a half. Like it would take 3 minutes for him to shit, and then he'd just sit there for an hour and a half. And would always clog the toilet. And then Garrett, in turn, would have to like go piss in the washing machine and shit if it was cold outside. It was like a fucking zoo.
Anyway,
Anyways,
I don't know. I don't even know why that came into mind.
I don't either, but shout out to Matt Ganatic.
Shout out to Matty
Shitting
G.
in the nude.
Shout out to Matty G.
Shout out to Manny G. Shout out to the chat, too.
Chat's
We
popping off
we got
already
Cousin
today.
Cam. We got Tyler
Who?
Nelson. President
Who?
Baker. Dan. Elizabeth.
Who
Shout
the
out to
fuck
all
is
you.
Dan?
Dan.
Dan. He
What
wants
do you
to
mean, who
fight
the
you.
fuck? Yeah, he wants to see if you guys. It would be like two grizzly bears fighting each other.
Yeah.
Dan.
What are you talking about?
Dan
Dan.
towers him.
I don't know who the fuck Dan
You'd
is.
know Dan if you
Dan
saw
is
him.
a 6'4".
Yeah.
Think Nikki, but hairier.
Yeah, Nicky but hairier.
Okay.
What would you do? Just shoot for the knees?
No.
Oh, okay. Look at that. Get
Do
at
my-
Uncle Sam's
do,
face.
Do my
today.
pat Nick climb up the back and then put the fucking hammer lock on it and take him down and choke him the fuck out.
Oh, there we go. Shout out to Dan getting choked the
Shout
fuck
out to Dan. Dan, you're getting choked out when I see you.
Leon's in the chat.
Oh,
He said that
fuck.
he was in the toilet for a half hour yesterday.
You know, yesterday
After
was it-
Burrow
yeah,
got
hold
hurt.
on. Was it what day was it?
Yesterday was
Yesterday?
Thursday.
No, it was fucking the day before. I'm driving out of work, and all of a sudden I see this fat black guy standing on the corner giving me the finger. I'm like, who is this motherfucker? It was Leon. My God, you are fat, son. You need to go work out. You need to call Sammy's trainer.
Well,
Oh,
George, we're going to get into those injuries. We're going to start right off the bat with the injuries.
yes, we are. But first, how's your week?
It's not done yet.
Okay. Zolo, how's your week?
Not bad. I'm happy it's almost over. I'm fucking tired.
Amen. Amen. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Well, I don't think we should waste any time today. It's 5 o'clock on a Friday. Let's get straight into it. Let's get into the fucking news. All right, obviously, if you are a living soul in America right now, then you probably know about last night's game. The Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals faced off in a divisional game that we all thought was going to probably be one of the best games of the weekend, if not one of the best games of the year. I mean, this is one of the games that we've been waiting for to see now that the Bengals had seemed to have gotten things together a little bit, and obviously the Ravens have been dominant. And it just didn't go that way. It started off first drive of the game. Mark Andrews with a ankle injury, and he is now going to miss the rest of the season. And then we watched Lamar Jackson go down on a similar style play, similar style tackle, similar occurrence. He was in the tent for a little while, came out, jogged it off, got back out there, and then tragedy struck for the Bengals. Joe Burrow, I don't even know how it happened. There's so much flying around right now. I watched the play that it happened on, and it didn't.
You know what's kind of weird is they're showing clips of him before he even
With
showed
the
up.
brace.
They deleted
And he
the
had
picture.
a fucking
Yes.
brace on his
and they
wrist.
deleted the
There's
picture.
a video of Joe Burrow walking into the stadium yesterday with some sort of brace
It was
on
a
his
black
wrist,
wrapped around his wrist.
and he was not on the injury report.
Supposedly it happened on the Clowney play. I think that there's some. Joe Burrow's excuse was, I always wear some sort of compression sock on my legs or on my limbs when I'm flying, just in case. No, you were banged up before that. There was something going on before that, and they covered it up.
100%. I believe that too. Burrow's been battling injuries of all kinds all year. Like, this wasn't something new. But yesterday they found that he has ligament damage in his wrist, and he will now miss the remainder of the season. So that's the biggest piece of news today. There's been a lot of controversy around it, mainly the Mark Andrews injury. There was a whole bunch of ex-NFL players today.
Bruce, can you cut to Uncle Sam's face right now?
There's a whole bunch of ex-NFL players today that came out and said that the NFL needs to do something about the hip drop tackle where you grab a guy.
Fuck, are you kidding? Let's do something. Don't use your head. Don't go high. Don't fucking launch. Don't lean in. What the fuck? Ring around the rosies. Pocket full of posies. You're all a bunch of pussies. It is what it is. Hey, Logan Wilson plays hard. He plays tough. And he's playing within the fucking rules. It's within the rules. Now you're talking about banning a tackle that if you spin around their body and go down, that's not good enough now. Everybody needs to just fucking stop. Why don't we just stop tackling? Why don't we just fucking play two-hand touch? How about fisting? Fisting should be the way you're down now. You run, you punch you punch the guy's asshole to your elbow. That's how you're down.
And that was a preview of Tipped Nursery Rhymes coming to you this Christmas.
It's ridiculous already. Stop. The guy's playing hard. He made the tackles within the rules that they want to go by. You can't lead with your head no more. You can't do other things. This is how come you have a rash of lower extremity injuries because of your fucking rule changes.
So, with that being said, it seems like Burrow is now the 6th starting quarterback to be out for the rest of the season.
And look at every guy that's went down. It's the tackle because they don't want them to lead on them, hit them above the shoulders or below the legs. They're grabbing them, spinning around, and their body weight is causing these injuries. So what are you going to do? Outlaw that now? Are they going to outlaw that now?
I agree with you that there's no way
Give
they
me
can
a fucking
outlaw
break,
anything
dude.
like that. I think they're going to
Stop.
try. They're going to make an attempt to.
There
but
we go. Let's just eliminate tackling.
You're going to take away you're going to take away the fundamentals of the game to a point where there's not going to be a reason to play defense anymore. That's going to be the problem.
CTE? Really?
Obviously, so Burrow's out for the year with a wrist injury, Watson with a shoulder, Cousins and Rodgers with Achilles, Daniel Jones with a knee, and Anthony Richardson also with a shoulder injury. I mean, you're talking about that's 1/5 of your starting quarterbacks in the league are now out for the rest of the year.
Rough year for the
there's more
quarterbacks.
You want to know
Rules
the
on
problem?
tackling.
You want to know the problem?
Wow.
The NFL has turned this game into such a fucking patty cake game. This is why these guys drop like flies. That's the problem. They've turned it into patty cake.
A part of me thinks you're right for sure. They've done so much to curb the CTE and the brain injuries.
Correct.
That they've taken it a step further to curb all injuries, which are part of the game. And it's kind of led to the softness in the calls on the quarterbacks.
The softness of the players in general.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, and I will go up against anybody that fucking is going to sit here and argue with me about it. Listen, injuries are part of the game. But when you start taking away the physicality of the game in training camp, in practices, in this, in that, because you're afraid to get guys hurt, this is the fucking issue, period. You need to stop that. Go back to the way it used to be. I watched Jack Youngblood play with a broken fucking leg in the Super Bowl. I mean, come on, dude. At what part do we fucking stop this? It's ridiculous. I get it. You guys got sued the fuck for the goddamn CTE bullshit. I understand it. I get it. You guys got sued. You want to prevent it because you don't want to pay any more money out? Listen, you print your own money, motherfuckers. All you cocksuckers, print your own money. It needs to fucking stop. It needs to fucking stop. You're taking away the physicality of the game. You're deciding games the way you want to decide them on bullshit roughing calls that are fucking horrible.
Do you have anything else?
What else do you want to hear?
Go ahead.
Am I wrong?
No.
You're not, no,
Anybody fucking tell me I'm wrong? I fucking dare you. I fucking dare you.
You're not. The game is a little bit softer.
It's soft, period.
I agree that they should have did a lot about the brain injuries and the CTE, all things considered, but I think it's been taken too far. I think it's led to a softness. I can tell you that it's never an issue, and I disagree. I think that hip drop tackle, it's been on the competitions committee's list every year for X amount of years, and it's only an issue when it happens to star players. So when you see a guy like Mark Andrews goes down, that's where it's a problem.
Now it's an issue.
Right.
No, it's been an issue, but it gets
you know what? It was
finished as
the
an
horse
issue.
collar tackle. The horse collar tackle was the big fucking issue after they took away the physicality of the game, which is using any kind of extremity above the fucking chest. They took it away. But guess what? Your injuries were less then than they are now. Your injuries were less 30 fucking years ago than they are now. You'd see one guy break. I watched Joe Theismann get his leg broken in a Monday Night Football game when the fucking Redskins were playing the fucking Giants. And I watched Joe Theismann get his fucking leg snapped on Monday Night Football. That was one of the most horrific things anybody ever seen. But that was it.
Now we get those weekly.
You didn't see anything else.
We get
you didn't see it that
fractures
much.
and dangling legs weekly now. There's one every week.
fucking week you got a dangler.
The dangler.
The
Yeah.
fucking dangler. But it's every week now.
Bart Scott on ESPN today said that Logan Wilson's hit on Mark Andrews was quote unquote a dirty play.
Whatever, dude. Bart Scott said that?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
It wasn't
Okay.
It was by no means a dirty play. If they ban it, it's still not a dirty play. I mean, it's a tough tackle. It's not a dirty play, though. It was a great tackle. Wilson plays the game. Zach Taylor had a great comment. He goes, he plays the game normally. He plays the game really well. He plays the game as hard and as fierce as anybody. And it was a legal hit. It was a legal tackle.
100%.
Oh,
I
I guess his little tackle on OBJ is the next thing to be criticized. That he fucking karate chopped him across the collarbone. Whatever, dude. It's just bullshit, dude. You got one guy playing hard and the rest of them guys going through the fucking motions. Whatever, dude. You want to just take away all physicality of the game. Do that. You scripting motherfuckers, you.
We have a new member in the chat.
Who?
It's BLT 410, and I've just gotten confirmation for who it is.
Who is BLT 410?
It's Carl Giordano.
Oh my God.
No fucking.
Who is it?
Wow. Carl.
Carl's in the chat. He
Carl's
called
in
me.
the chat.
He
Carl
called
who?
me earlier to
Carl.
ask if I should be worried. I, as in him, should I be worried about this Andrews thing with Isaiah Likely? And I think we should talk about the Ravens prospects with
I
their
agree.
injuries, and then we should talk about the Bengals prospects.
Let's talk about the game now. We got past the injuries. That's really the only piece of news there was to dig deep in today, outside of the fact that Joe Flacco worked out for the Browns. There's the news. Now let's talk about the game last night. Baltimore comes out on top to stay in first place in the AFC North, 34-20. Cincinnati now at 500, 5-5, in last place in the AFC North with their starting quarterback out for the year. Who's the guy who came in his spot? Jake Browning.
Jake Browning from Washington, college football playoff.
I just think he needs time, dude.
Browning. I thought Browning was very serviceable.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
he
I
will
did
be
too.
too.
Outstanding,
Yeah.
but against
Tell me he
Ravens-
didn't look better than Danny DeVito.
Oh,
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
Shit.
100%.
Danny DeVito was fucking god awful.
Couldn't agree more. I thought Browning was very serviceable against a tough defense on the
Yeah.
road.
At least he could complete a pass 5 yards down the field.
And if you give him a week of prep, don't get me wrong, I think the Bengals are toast 100%.
100%.
100%. But still, if we'll do this, we'll go through the playoff machine. If
Yeah.
you go through, 9 wins is probably going to get you in the AFC. 9 wins, maybe even 8 wins, probably 9 wins. I just think there's too many teams in front of them that are going to be battling for that spot. And I
you
like
know what,
the Browns
though? You
better.
know what? And look at, you still got Cleveland, who's without their
I was gonna
quarterback.
say, I like the
also.
Browns better than the Bengals still.
Well, you like the Browns better because of the defense. But I'll tell you what, the Bengals defense actually played very well last
Can I be honest with you? Right now, as it stands, all right. Obviously, this is Baltimore's division to lose now, in my opinion. But you're going to have.
I don't know about that because Baltimore still lost to fucking Pittsburgh. And mathematically, I know Baltimore's in first place because of the record. But Pittsburgh is 2-0 in
The
division.
Steelers were the biggest winner yesterday.
Correct.
Yes.
And this is what I was going to say. I think that Baltimore will win this division. I think you only get 2 teams that make the playoffs out of it because I think Houston's still going to surge up, and the AFC is such a mess.
The
And
Colts are still in it, too.
Colts are still. There's teams that are still in it. I think Baltimore and Pittsburgh make the playoffs now.
Colts, forget about it.
Yes, but
I wouldn't count the Browns out. I would not count the
Yeah,
Browns
I wouldn't
out.
either.
Because they play the division tough, and the difference between them and the Bengals is that they've actually won some of these games without Deshaun Watson.
that's
Right.
And they got the defense. I'm taking the the Browns defense over any that isn't Pittsburgh's. And honestly, it's healthier than Pittsburgh's right now.
Yeah.
So it's going to have a shot at it. They're right there. And if Dorian Thompson-Robinson doesn't work, you switch back to PJ Walker, who's already won some games.
My whole.
I know what
issue
you're saying, though.
This is the most Browns thing ever would be to be right there in the position to make the playoffs when everything went against you. You lost Chubb for the year, you lost Watson for the year, and they fuck it up somehow.
Who's lost more shit than Cleveland, really?
Well, I mean, at this
What
point,
team has lost more than Cleveland?
Just pray
At
that
this
they-
point, I would say Cincinnati now.
Yeah,
But prior to that, from week 1 to now, for the first 10 weeks, who lost more fucking key guys than
The Giants.
the Giants
Giants?
outside of them too. But yeah, so Lamar Jackson in this game, 16 for 26, 264 and 2 touchdowns. He also had 54 yards rushing. Burrow, 11 for 17 for 101 yards and a touchdown. Jake Browning came in, obviously, in relief. 8 for 14, 68 and a touchdown. Joe Mixon, 16 for 69 on the ground. He also accumulated 31 and a touchdown.
He was
through the air.
he was a man last night.
You know who
He
else
was a man.
Pete
last
Mitchell.
night.
Gus Edwards,
Oh, Gus, forgot
12
about him.
for 62
Casual
and 2
2 TDs.
touchdowns. He also had 8 yards receiving through the air. But Keaton Mitchell had a nice little game too. 8 for 33 on the ground. And then he also accumulated 8 yards through the air. Odell Beckham, 4 for 116. Nelson Aguilar got a touchdown on his sole reception. And before Mark Andrews went out, he only had 2 receptions for 23 yards. So, with all this being said, 2 things that I noticed from this game outside of the obvious. Number 1, the Ravens defense was still able to completely shut down Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase had the 1 touchdown reception, but he was only 2 for 12. And I think that's if you can hold Jamar Chase in check like that, I think that's nice. Granted, T. Higgins wasn't there, but I think they did a nice job against Chase. Other side of the ball, I think Baltimore is just hitting on every cylinder right now. And I don't really see it stopping. Zay Flowers had a touchdown that was called back on one of the worst refereeing jobs I've seen all year.
Weak penalty.
That was one of the weakest penalties I've seen all year. Baltimore, I think Zolo's been right. You've been right. Baltimore's for sure, without question, now the front runner in this division. Like I said, if Cincinnati lost this game, I was ready to write them off. I'm ready to write them off now even more so. And Baltimore's Lamar looks good. Their running game looks good. Their receivers are all I mean, like, we haven't heard Odell Beckham's name all year outside of the last 2 games, realistically. It's all starting to click now. The big question
because
mark.
now Andrews is gone. You have no choice.
Well, the big question mark here is Isaiah Likely, when he has come in for Andrews in the past, has been extremely serviceable in that role.
He's not going to
See,
put
though,
up.
they didn't even look to the tight end after that.
He's not going to put up Mark Andrews' numbers.
No.
It's not going to show up on the stat sheet like Mark Andrews does. But where the big hole where Mark Andrews is he's one of the best hybrid tight ends. He's an excellent blocker. There's a way to get Likely going in the pass game for sure, for certain. That's what he is. He's a pass-catching tight end. So, Carl, to answer your question that you asked me earlier today, you were the one that told me about Isaiah Likely over a year ago. So this goes out to you. Shout out to Carl G. I've been shouting you out since May on this show. I think that they're not going to be too concerned because Odell's coming on at the right time. I mean, everyone had a great game. Nelson Aguilar had a great game.
Yes, he did.
The whole nine. I wouldn't doubt any Ravens from a pass catching standpoint. And when your running game is good enough, it's not going to matter who's blocking at tight end because everything's going to be done through the middle. And I know they didn't have Ronnie Stanley last night, if I remember correctly.
No, they didn't.
They're going to get healthier on the offensive line eventually, and it's going to make a lot more sense. I've always thought
You know what
Baltimore.
showed me, though, yesterday? You know what showed me, stuck out to me yesterday was Joe Mixon torching them for about 8 yards per carry. That stood out to me.
He had 4.2 yards per carry.
No, at one point he had 8 yards per carry in the whole first half. He was averaging 8 yards per carry. And that's before Burrow went down.
Yeah, because then after
Yeah.
Burrow went down. you
After
just
Burrow
played
went
him
down,
wrong.
obviously they were keying on stopping Mixon after that.
So what you're saying is you don't trust the Ravens defense right now?
No. They were getting torched. They were getting torched and torched up the gut.
I like them better in pass pro anyways. I love Rock
You
Yassin.
know what I'm talking about now.
I love Kyle Hamilton. Yeah, they were at the beginning of the game for sure. The offense
Did
was
you
going
notice
through
that when Burrow was playing,
before Burrow went out, it was
and
going
he
through
was
Mixon.
doing that little read or that little off tackle play to Mixon, and Mixon kept cutting it up inside. They had no answer for that. They had no answer. For
No,
that.
and Mixon he did. He looked really nice in the
And
first half.
I truly believe if Burrow would have stayed healthy, that game would have been a hell of a lot closer than what it was.
It would have been closer, but the Ravens were still clicking in other ways. The moral of the story is the Bengals D had a chance to stop the Ravens offense last night. And I think I told you guys on Wednesday, I'll bet the Ravens do a good chunk into this over on their own. I think the Bengals would have scored more points with Burrow, or especially with T. Higgins being there. But regardless, I think it just came down to the Ravens. They're offensively, they're just rolling. I mean, Mark Andrews went out and there was a little hiccup there in the second quarter, but then they just started rolling in the second half.
Because
once the Browning kid came in, he had a better rapport with Trenton Irwin.
Trenton Irwin, 3
than he
receptions,
did
36
anybody
yards,
else.
baby.
And that's because he's probably not used to playing with these other guys.
Right.
So, yeah, you had guys catching passes. There was one guy, I didn't even know who the fuck he was, that was playing for the Bengals that caught a pass. I didn't even know who the fucking guy was.
No, Tanner Hudson, 4 receptions, 49 yards.
I
he
don't
led
know.
the team in
Isn't he
receiving.
like the kick returner or something?
I don't know who he is.
I don't know who the fuck he is.
We're an
But-
Irwin podcast.
Huh?
We're an Irwin, a Bruce Irwin podcast. What's his name?
Trenton Irwin.
Trenton Irwin podcast.
3 for
Trenton
36. Big night last night.
He almost had a touchdown in that.
Yes, he did. I was going to say the gate. If Burrow plays the whole game, it obviously is a lot closer than it was. But if I truly believe if Mark Andrews played that entire game, Baltimore would have turned at least one of those field goals into a touchdown.
100%. And he historically, there's 2 teams that Mark Andrews torches to death. And it's the Bengals and the Browns.
Yeah.
He always puts up crazy numbers
Big
on the Browns.
division numbers.
His one of the biggest props last night, which was literally dead 5 minutes into the game, was Mark Andrews' targets.
I took it
over 7, right?
Yep.
Or would you say over 5?
I took it over 6.5.
Yeah, over. So regardless, one of his targets are always on there when he plays the Bengals and the Browns. And who's to say he was going to convert the targets? I mean, he obviously converted that one that he got, but
Yeah, I had a Mark Andrews anytime touchdown. I
Yeah.
had all kinds. Yeah.
I agree.
So, with that being said, do you have anything else to add before we move on from this game? In the controversy, the injuries,
Well,
anything?
I mean, it's obvious that now they're going to try to go after a new rule. They need to just let it go, and move on. We're going to sit here and overthink everything, just like they always do, and overreact to everything, just because, like Mike said, a minute a star goes down and everybody's panicking.
I'm curious where they stand, where both these teams stand in a couple weeks. I love what I saw from Jake Browning. He's a very capable quarterback. He threw to some really good pass catchers in college at Washington. He was in a pretty West Coast offense. And on top of that, I'm curious to see what happens with Odell. I'm curious to see how Isaiah Likely emerges. I'm curious to see the further emergence of Keaton Mitchell. I mean, I think the Bengals are out of it, but I thought they were out of it before this. They're still mathematically in this. I don't think they were ever in the division. I think they can make a playoff run still, but their margin for error is gone. It's gone. It's subsided. It's razor thin. They've lost too many bad games, and this is why you cannot start slow. Because if they didn't start slow and they won some of those games that they were supposed to win at the beginning of the year, and I know Burrow was injured, but if they won some of those games that they were supposed to win at the beginning of the year, they wouldn't be in a deep hole like they're in right now. And now they're in a massive hole because of that. Do I think it's completely over? No. I think they got a shot at it. Would I pick them to be the 7th or the 16th in the AFC? No, I wouldn't.
All right. Now, I want to change gears here a little bit. We got a lot of good games to talk about going into this weekend, and we're going to do that. We're also going to integrate the playoff machine into this. So we're going to go game by game. We're not going to spend a ton of time breaking down everyone like we usually do. But what we're going to do is we're going to input our picks into the playoff machine and see where that leaves us at the end of the week. All right. So we're going to start off divisional game. We're staying in the AFC North. The Pittsburgh Steelers are heading to Cleveland to play the Browns with Dorian Thompson-Robinson at the helm. Cleveland is a 1-point favorite in this game. The over-under is an absolute whopper at 33.
Is that the lowest of the year?
I'm pretty sure that's you know what? We had one that was in the 20s. There was a game where both starting quarterbacks missed, and I know we had one that was like 28 or 29 at one point.
Am I not doing this? Or are you doing it?
Yeah, we could pick
what I want you
this
to
week.
do,
pick this week.
You're going to keep us on the screen, and then when we're ready, I'll tell you when to bring this up.
All right.
Okay. So, starting off with this game, I know you love divisional games. I know you love defensive matchups. This is obviously one of them. Uncle Sam, give us your pick here.
I'm going to take, who'd you say it was? Cleveland and who?
Cleveland's a 1-point favorite over Pittsburgh.
Fuck.
Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
I'm going to,
starting.
you know what? You know what? I'm going to take Cleveland in this.
Wow.
I'm going to take Cleveland in the over.
So we're gonna do this by majority rule. So if it's a 2 versus 1, the team that we're going with is the 2. Okay? Because I'm gonna take Pittsburgh in this one. 1, I think their defense is dominant enough to stop Dorian Thompson-Robinson. 2, Pittsburgh has been the luckiest team in the league this year. I think they're gonna continue to get lucky. And 3, I don't really fully believe in this Cleveland running game against that Pittsburgh front. I'll say this
I have to interject on that. I think Pittsburgh can be run on. I don't think the inside linebackers of Pittsburgh are very good, and outside, basically Watt and I forgot the other kid's name on the opposite side of him.
Hayward.
56, huh?
Hayward.
Yeah, Hayward's back.
No, not Hayward.
Back this week.
He's been back.
The other guy playing the opposite side of T.J. Watt. Fuck.
Okay, either way.
Anyway, I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping.
Sam's got to get to Como's after this, so I'm going to be quick.
Also, I think that Pittsburgh's run game is starting to heat up, and if they depend on that in these divisional games, it could fare well.
Well, nothing stops Pittsburgh's run game better than Jim Schwartz's run defense.
Correct. Jim Schwartz is a fucking mastermind defensively.
If my math was correct, I think I'll pull it up right now. The Steelers only won by 4 back when they played in week 2. And they won that at home, and I think they've regressed. I think they've regressed offensively. I think they've transitioned to we have no clue what we're doing, whereas the Browns' defense has gotten a lot better. I'm going with the Browns. I've been too committed to the Browns this year to not pick them right now, so I'm going to go with the Browns. I think you're going to see a lot more out of DTR than you saw against the Ravens. I think they're going with him over P.J. Walker for a reason, and I watched DTR run a really high-powered, complex offense at UCLA. Chip Kelly's offense at UCLA. He's got some pieces he could work with, and I think he's going to be capable of bringing home the win, even against Steelers defense. And it's at home for Cleveland. Can we get a bark for the dog pound, Uncle Sam?
Not till they win.
If they win this week, you'll bark?
No, they have to win. They have to make the playoffs at least.
Okay. Done. That's
Done.
fair.
How does this work if we break even?
We didn't break even. It's 2-1. We're just including your pick.
Yeah, you don't.
We're gonna go 2 out of 3. We're gonna go 2 out of 3 in the
Make sure you're writing down the picks
I'm
still.
right.
Do you
Okay.
think it's Pittsburgh? Are you gonna pick?
Yeah, I'm going with Pitt.
All right, bring up the playoff machine and give us a win for Cleveland here.
Well, I just clicked
Click
that.
the
Click
helmet.
that.
Good work.
All right, so if
You
Cleveland
guys are in the
wins,
corner, so we can leave this up.
if Cleveland, no, I don't like
You
it.
want
Up.
it up?
I want it the way that we're doing.
Just toggle back and forth. Is
So
it hard to toggle back?
if Cleveland wins, they're the 5 seed.
Yeah.
Okay, do it. Bring it back up.
Okay.
And now let's give a Pittsburgh a win. But we're gonna then after you show me what it looks like with a Pittsburgh win, put it back to a Cleveland. So essentially, right now in the playoff scenario, the winner of this game, it's a 5 seed versus 6 seed. Okay, put it back to Cleveland and bring our faces back up. All right. Next up, the Green Bay Packers are hosting the LA Chargers at Lambeau Field. The Chargers 3-point favorite in this game. The over/under is 44. Uncle Sam.
I'm going to take the Packers in this.
Oh, wow.
I know it's kind of stupid, but I got a feeling that they're due.
Give me the Chargers -3 all day long.
Yeah, I love what I've seen from the Chargers the last couple weeks. I'll take the Chargers and the over on this one.
How does that make any sense? You choose the Chargers to beat the Lions,
Yeah.
but
And then he chooses the
Yeah,
Packers to beat the
what?
Chargers. Yeah. I know. Bring up the thing. Let's go. Let's give the Chargers a W here and see what happens.
where's it at? There you go.
Nothing. Now hold on. Click a Pittsburgh win real quick. Still nothing. Okay, so
We
this
gotta get through the week to get the full picture of where
Right,
everything stands at
correct.
the end of the week.
Correct.
And then if we really want to abuse the playoff machine, I really hope we have time. We casually pick through the rest of the games on the schedule while we're here, and then we'll get a good idea of where things stand. But I know
Okay.
I know
I
you're
can
crunched
just
for
keep
time.
track of everything. You guys do your picks, and then we'll go back.
All right. Then we'll do it that way. We'll come back to the playoff machine at the end, okay? Next up, the Las Vegas Raiders are going to Miami to play the Dolphins. Miami is a 13.5-point favorite coming out of the bye. The over/under is 46.5. Uncle Sam.
46.5.
46.5.
I think the Dolphins will win, but I'm going to take the Raiders to cover.
What's the number?
13.5. And that is a lot of points. And that's,
I'm going to take the Raiders to cover that, but I think the Dolphins will win.
all right, so the Raiders have obviously, everybody's fallen in love with the Raiders a little bit as of late because they have been playing well. New head coach. They look a tad reinvigorated. I think Miami coming out of the bye has been set up very well to have a blowout game this week. I think that they're going to run. I think they're running Vegas out of the building. I'm taking the 13.5. I'm taking the over because I think Miami hits it. Miami needs a big Denver-like game. I don't think it's going to be a 70-20 football game, but I think Miami wins this one and wins it big.
I'm going to do the Uncle Sam, and I'm going to take the Dolphins to win, but the Raiders to cover. That's just a big number, and I think it's for the opposite of what you said. I think they're going to come out a little bit flat out of the gate, especially with the post-Europe thing, the post-Europe woes. I'm going to go with the under on this one, too. I think that number might be a little too tight for Aiden O'Connell to hit. But give me the Dolphins, obviously, to win. That's a big number, and I like how the Raiders have played under Antonio Pierce enough for them to cover that big number. Backdoor cover at the end. I think it's going to happen at the end of the game. They get within 10 probably. But give me the Dolphins.
Next up, in a
Divisional game.
that has Uncle Sam's name written all over it, Danny DeVito and the New York Football Giants are heading to the nation's capital to play the Washington Commanders
Redskins.
at 3rd and 4th in the NFC East. This game probably means the world to Washington. If they need to win this game, there cannot be a debacle.
Let me say this. If they lose to Danny DeVito, somebody should be fired immediately.
Washington is an 8.5-point favorite. The over-under in this one, 37.5, and I can't believe it's that high. Uncle Sam.
I'm taking Washington in the over.
I'm taking Washington in the under.
I'm going to go with Washington. Yeah, I'm going to take the over just because the Commanders have been playing well enough.
Yeah, they're going to be able to put us.
I think they could put up enough points, but I don't know.
I can
That's
see them
also a
putting
big
a
number.
30
Hey,
burger on.
I'm
it.
going to go. The Commanders are one of those teams that need a good showing because their
They
coach
need
is
a
on the
good
hot-
showing,
on the
and
hot seat.
I'm going to predict. I haven't done this yet this year. I'm going to predict the final score of this game. It's going to be 24-9 in favor of the Commanders.
So you think Danny DeVito's going to put 9 points up?
I think Danny DeVito's going to get them close enough to field goal range to be able to put up 9.
Commanders.
I don't know how he's going to do that if he can't throw the ball 5 yards.
This is going to be the Saquon show. I think Saquon's going to do a number on this Commanders defense. So I'm going to go Commanders. I'm going to go the Commanders to cover, and I like the over in this one.
It's getting to that point of year where Saquon breaks something in his body where he's out for the rest.
He broke it at the beginning of the year, though.
That is true.
He's already been broken this year. He should be okay.
All right.
This one, honest to God, this is the most surprising line of the week for me. The Dallas Cowboys are heading to Carolina to play the Panthers. Dallas, only, and I was surprised by this, only a 10.5 point favorite in this game. Over under is 42. I thought this one would open up at a 12-13 pointer. I really did. Uncle Sam.
What does that tell you?
I know.
What do they know
This
that
has
we don't
crap
know?
written all over it.
What does Vegas know that we don't know? They're controlling it all anyway.
Jesus.
I don't know.
You want me to do it?
Go
What
ahead.
is it? What is the point? What is it?
Dallas, the 10.5 point favorite. The over under is 42.
I'm going to take Dallas to win this, but I'm going to take Carolina to cover.
I'm going to go
Any
Dallas.
under.
I'm going to go Dallas to win, Dallas to cover. They're hot at the right time right now, in my opinion. The Panthers have been practicing a silent snap count all week, and it's a home game for them. That's how many Cowboys fans they're expecting in Charlotte this weekend. And I think the Cowboys, when they play these bad teams in recent
Yeah, that's all the
weeks,
Cowboys do. They follow their fans follow the bad teams they play.
in recent weeks when they've played these bad teams since the 49ers games, they've shown out a little bit better offensively, and they're covering these numbers on their own, and I think they're going to do that. I think they're going to have no problem hitting the over because the Cowboys are going to do enough damage on their own.
I'm going to take Dallas to win this game, but I'm also going to take Carolina to cover, and I'm going to take the under 2. I agree. Dallas has been extremely hot as of late, but the only thing is,
They beat up on bottom feeders. That's all they do.
well, that's true to an extent. But I will say they gave Philadelphia a decent game when they played there. They got blown out by Frisco, but they do have a way of blowing out bad teams. But for some reason, I think Carolina also right now is a little bit motivated. I think they want to get that second win really bad. I think Bryce Young's got a lot to prove. I'm going to take Carolina to cover this on the back door with a field goal late, but I'm going to take Dallas to win, and I'm going to take the under. Dallas's offense has been going absolutely crazy as of late, but this
Jerry
game,
Judy's been going crazy as of late.
who?
What's his name?
Completely.
Jerry Judy
Not
plays for the
Judy.
Broncos.
Not Judy. The
CeeDee
other-
Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb.
They've been going crazy as of late.
Sorry, I should have just said Alabama receiver. Go ahead.
But I think that everything slows down a little bit for them this week. Give me Carolina to cover, but Dallas to win. Next up, in a
Divisional game.
So enthusiastic.
I know he's just so
That's
miserable.
the point. He's
Jeez.
playing the part now.
The Tennessee Titans are heading to Jacksonville to play the Jaguars. Jacksonville first in the AFC South, Tennessee fourth in the AFC South. But Jacksonville only a 6.5 point favorite in this game. Over under sitting at 40. I'll start this one off. I'm taking Jacksonville to win, Jacksonville to cover, and I'm going to take the over.
Same drill. Jacksonville to win, Jacksonville to cover. I think this is going to be a little bit better for Will Levis because if the Falcons can put up some points on Jags D, and if Anthony Richardson can do it, I think Will Levis will be able to do it too.
I'm actually going to take the Titans in this.
No,
I don't like what I've seen from
I can see it.
Jacksonville.
100%, I could see it. I
don't like
about
what
it.
I seen from them last week, and
That's still.
that was.
There's a chance you're not wrong about this. I don't think you're crazy.
I'm gonna take the Titans in this one.
Jacksonville needs this win.
I would take the under.
They're a team that needs a big win.
They need a big win. And I don't think that. Plus, Trevor Lawrence is still Trevor Lawrence. They've got to win this game. Next up, the Arizona Cardinals are heading to Houston to play the Texans. Houston, a 5.5-point favorite. The over/under is 48. Are the Stroud boys going to stand tall this week, Zolo?
Yeah, give me the Stroud boys. They're just doing it on all cylinders. That being said, I'm going to take the Cardinals to cover. I think it's going to be a closer game again. I think the Cardinals play teams close. They're very tough. I'm looking for a big game from Trey McBride because the Texans linebackers have been getting slashed all year, and I think that Kyler knows he might have something in Trey McBride. So give me the Cardinals to cover, Texans to win, and give me the over in this one. What's going on with Nico Collins? I know Dameon Pierce is out.
Dameon Pierce is out.
Noah Brown, I think, is out.
Noah Brown is out. Nico Collins is playing.
Ooh, interesting.
Hold on. Will Anderson is doubtful. There's a lot of injuries in this game. There's a lot of injuries going into it for Houston.
I'll bet this is one of the most fun games of the week.
I bet it is the most fun game of the week. I think that Houston ends up winning this by a touchdown late. I'm going to take Houston to win. I'm going to take Houston to cover. And I, too, am going to hit that over. I think both these teams have the ability to put up points when they want to. Arizona with Kyler looks a little bit different than Arizona without him. Give me Houston to win and cover. But I think Arizona gives it a good game, and it's entertaining.
I'm going to take Kyler Murray and the Cardinals in this one.
You better.
And the over.
You better.
Have we been unanimous on anything? Have we been unanimous on everything, on anything? Oh, Dallas.
Washington, Dallas, and Miami.
Next up, we're going to head to San Francisco, where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are heading to the Bay Area to play the 49ers. San Francisco, 11.5-point favorite in this one. Over-under is 41.5. Let's see how Uncle Sam justifies Tampa Bay covering this one. Go ahead.
What is it again?
San Francisco is an 11.5-point favorite.
I'm going to take Frisco, the under, and I'm taking Tampa to cover.
Why?
Just because I don't think they're going to blow them out by 11.
I'm going to take Frisco to win, Frisco to cover, and I'm going to take the over in this game.
Mike Evans.
San Francisco to win, San Francisco to cover, and the over. Teams that are going to do well against San Francisco are the ones that are not one-dimensional offensively, and I think that the Bucs are one-dimensional offensively. I think they do their best when Rachaad White is running well.
100%.
If you take that away and you force Baker Mayfield to throw,
it could get shitty quick.
It's not going to be good for the Bucs.
In the second 4 o'clock game of the slate, the New York Jets are heading to Buffalo for a
divisional game
against the Bills. Buffalo at 5-5 and desperate for a win, going up against the Jets, who need a win to stay relevant as Aaron Rodgers continues his rehab to come back and lead Gang Green into the playoffs. Buffalo is a touchdown favorite in this one. The over-under is 39.5. And I am going to throw it to Zolo first. Go ahead.
I just think that this is another one of those games where one of these teams really needs it, but one of these teams needs it more than the other one, and that's obviously Buffalo. Heads will roll if they lose this game. They can't lose to the Jets the second time. They certainly can't lose to the Jets at home. And I think
they lose this game. You think McDermott gets fired?
No, they'll wait till the end of the year. I think things are just trending down. I feel like for the Jets offense, there's players only meetings, and it's just only gotten worse. It was stagnant for a second.
Yeah,
there's
some shit coming out of the locker room.
Well, we have there was something else that I just read on Twitter about 2 minutes ago. Garrett Wilson did not practice today. Elbow injury.
It's not.
Yeah, I like the
Not
Bills. I like the Bills to cover, and I like what's the number?
39.5.
I think the Bills are going to send a bit of a statement after last week and then after Monday Night Football week 1. I think they'll put up 25 on this Jets defense themselves. And it's just a matter of what Zach Wilson can muster up on his own. So give me the over.
I'm going to take Buffalo to win, Buffalo to cover, and I'm going to take the over. Buffalo is in the same situation that Cincinnati was going into last night. If the Bills lose this game of the Jets and they look impotent against that Jets defense, they're a write-off. The season's done, in my opinion. Buffalo needs to win. They need to put on a show. Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs need to look unified in lockstep. They need to have
And where's this game at?
It's in Buffalo.
It's in Buffalo.
They need to have a perfect game tomorrow night. Give me Buffalo to win, Buffalo to cover, and give me the over.
The Bills are in Bengals territory from last night.
Correct. 100%.
Yeah, I'm going to take Buffalo in the under.
I'm shocked right now.
I'm the only one.
I wanted to take the Jets.
You know what that means, everyone?
If you want to take the
Hammer
Jets, take the Jets.
I
I
Hammer
just
the
said
Jets, baby.
I wanted to take the Jets, but come on, dude. From what you've seen out of them the past couple of weeks, they're
I think the wheels have fallen off. I'm with you.
well, it's not that. It looks like to me that Akmu Bob over there
Amu
is
Bob.
losing his fucking. He's losing his fucking locker room. Go ahead.
I think it's just Zach Wilson. I think it's just a Zach Wilson problem. That's all it is.
Listen, he keeps sticking with them, and
Can I ask you a
there's
question?
no excuse at this.
Both of you. If they get embarrassed this week, if Zach Wilson gets embarrassed this week, do they are you at a point now where you have to seek out help?
Yeah.
At 4-6.
I mean, at this point, is it too late?
They're 4-6.
I think it's too late. When you had some of the quarterbacks that moved at the deadline, you had Josh Dobbs sitting there, and you can't tell me they couldn't take a flyer on Josh Dobbs. You can't
Yeah,
tell
they
me.
could have took one on Dobbs fucking 3 weeks before they did before Minnesota.
Exactly. And if there's one thing that I'm completely sidetracked right now, I know you got to go. I'm
No, we're
completely
good.
sidetracked. If there's one thing I've learned about this league in the last month, it's that you better have a good backup quarterback.
Yep.
You better. Because we're talking 6 or 7 teams here, and then more teams whose quarterback has just missed time altogether. So you better have a good backup quarterback, and then shame on the Jets for not figuring that out. They thought they had it in Zach Wilson. They should have known after a 2-year body of work that they didn't. Shame on you.
Next up, we have another.
Divisional game.
The Seattle Seahawks are heading to SoFi to play the Rams. Seattle sitting at second in the NFC West. The Rams sitting at third. Shockingly, Los Angeles is a 1-point favorite in this game. The over-under is 46.5. Uncle Sam.
Pete Carroll kryptonite. Taking the Rams and to cover.
Over-under? 46.5?
Under.
I'm going to take the Rams to win, cover, and I am going to take the over in this game.
Interesting.
Seahawks to win, obviously Seahawks to cover, and I'm going to take the over as well. They're going to look for redemption from that Week 1 loss or whatever. I think it was Week 1, right? They're going to look for redemption from that Week 1 loss.
That wasn't just a loss. It was a punching.
It was a punching. That was an embarrassment.
It was an utter fisting.
It was an asshole punch. There's some injuries going into this game that. Do we
Stafford
know
is
if
playing.
Is Lockett playing?
Yes.
Is Jamal Adams playing?
I don't know.
That one's going to be one to watch. Next up, on Sunday Night Football. We'll do Sunday Night Football first. Sunday Night Football live from Mile High. The Minnesota Vikings and Joshua Dobbs heading to Denver to play the Broncos and the new and improved old Russell Wilson. Denver, 2.5-point favorite. Over under 42.5. Uncle Sam, does Russ keep it going or does
the
Josh
over in
Dobbs?
Denver?
The over in Denver. Zolo.
The over in Denver. I like Russ right now. I've liked Russ all year. I think they're rolling, and I think Josh Dobbs is going to be capable. Justin Jefferson is questionable from what I understand. So he
There's
might
a
make it.
chance Justin Jefferson will play.
I just like how the number's low enough that I like what Josh Dobbs is going to be able to do offensively, and I certainly like what Russell Wilson does offensively. So give me the over. Yeah,
I think they're going to put some points up.
Denver in the over. This is a good game. This is a really good game.
Also, Alexander Mattinson did clear concussion protocol. I don't know if that turns it all for anybody.
Okay.
Ooh.
I'm going to take Minnesota in this. I'm going to take Minnesota to upset Denver, win this game, and I'm going to take the over in this one as well. I think both these teams are going to put up a lot of points. I don't see a ton of defense being played, but the strength of Minnesota's team right now is the secondary, and I think that they're going to make Russ look a little bit more human than he has the last few weeks. I'm going to take Minnesota, and I'm going to take the over.
Are we doing Monday night too? Or no? That's the
Well,
we owe that a show.
I say we save Monday night for Monday.
We owe
night.
that a show, but if we're doing playoff machine, we got to at least do
We'll
it.
pick it.
Yeah.
But first, the Chicago Bears are coming to Ford Field to play our very own Detroit Lions. Uncle Sam's got the head tilt going on like a dog who just heard an elk call because he's trying to figure out a way that Justin Fields will beat this Lions team or at least cover. Detroit, a 7.5-point favorite. The over-under, 48. Go ahead.
I'm going to teach Detroit in the under.
You're not taking a Chicago backdoor cover, Justin Fields, 100 yards rushing?
No, they're playing here in Detroit.
I
Zola?
don't think it matters, but
I'm going to take the Lions. I'm also going to take the Lions to cover.
They're playing here, right?
They're playing
Yes.
here.
Yeah.
I'm also going to take the Lions to cover. That's a really tough number, but you know what? I think Fields is going to be a little improved from the last time they played at Ford Field, which was a bloodbath for him. It was one of the Lions' best games defensively. I don't think he's going to move the ball that great coming off of the injury. I think it's going to be really tough for them. Khalil Herbert's back. I don't trust anyone against Lions' run defense. This is why the Lions switched to contain last year on the mobile quarterbacks. And if you're a good enough mobile quarterback, as Uncle Sam will tell you, you could bust their contain pretty good. I don't think Justin Fields is the type of quarterback that's going to be able to bust the Lions contain. So I'm going to go with the over. I think the Bears are going to muster some points at some point, but I love Jared Goff at home. I think he's on fire right now, and he's even
I like
more
the
on fire
Lions at home, period. If this game was in Chicago, I might pick it a little differently.
I'm going to take the Lions to cover. I'm going to take the Lions to win, and I'm going to take the under in this game.
It's a big number.
I think if anything came out of last week, as we know, the Lions defense needs to put on a big showing this week. I think they do. I think they hold Chicago to little to nothing offensively, and I think that Detroit's really going to put on a clinic offensively this week. Detroit to win, Detroit to cover, and the under for me. Let's quickly pick Monday night. Philadelphia is heading to Kansas City. Kansas City is a 2.5-point favorite, over under a 45. We will discuss this in depth Monday, but we're going to pick it right now just for the playoff machine. Who do you got?
Philly in the over.
I'm going to take Kansas City in the over.
Chiefs.
Okay.
I'll talk about over under
that's
Monday.
2.
Yeah, so do it as Chiefs.
Okay.
Can you blow it up, Bruce? Can you put the picture on the screen?
Let's go. Let's see it now. Okay. So you need to make the one that we're looking at bigger here because I can't see that.
Well, if I do, it makes the one on there.
All right, it's fine. No. I can call it out. We have the Eagles as the 1 seed.
Okay.
The Lions as the 2, playing the 7-seeded Vikings. The Niners as the 3, playing the 6-seeded Seahawks. The Saints as the 4, playing the 5-seeded Cowboys. And on the left side, the Chiefs are the 1. The Ravens are the 2, playing the Steelers as the 7. The Jags are the 3, playing the Texans as the 6. It's a couple divisional there.
Yeah.
And then Dolphins, Browns as the 4. What is that? I'm sorry. Yeah, the 4-5. The Dolphins and the Browns. So that's where it stands. And all the teams that are fringe, the Chargers, the Raiders, the Broncos, the who else am I missing out there? I mean, the Texans, obviously, we have in the Colts.
Right now, the Raiders are a
The
fringe
Colts.
team. The Colts are a fringe team.
And then on the right side, I mean, I don't think the Packers are a fringe team, but the Packers aren't in it, obviously. Only 2 AFC or NFC East teams are getting in. We have 2 NFC North. Good for them. Doesn't look like the Bucs are going to have a shot at it. And so it's about average. It's well, there's 3 getting in on the left, obviously.
Yeah.
There's the 3 NFC North teams getting in on the left, but on the right, it's only two NFC team, or 2 per division, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. This to me personally, I could see this unfolding this way, right? Obviously, with Philadelphia again has to go through the gauntlet right now, right? I think there's a chance that Detroit could take Philadelphia as the 1 seed.
I think Frisco's still in on that 1 seed too, even though they're a game be back. I think that they're right there.
He almost fell out of his chair over here.
What?
No, I think that they're right there also. Listen, they don't have that tough of a schedule going down the stretch here.
They play Philadelphia.
Well, yeah, outside the Philadelphia game.
They play Baltimore.
They got to play Seattle.
Okay.
They have to play Seattle
Yeah,
twice.
but see, let me say, I think the judge is still out on Seattle.
Fair.
I don't know if they're going to make it because they've been really inconsistent. The same with Dallas because of how inconsistent they have been.
What about Baltimore?
You could even get a team like Washington to sneak up in here,
100%.
fuck up everybody's shit.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Washington.
This will show it in the standings. Can we do the next
Washington's 5 and 6. Yeah,
week? Do you
Bruce,
think we
go
have
to
time
the
to do
next
this whole
week. Real
thing?
quick.
I think we do. I think we can nail this.
Go through everything.
Week 12.
Call the games out and we'll pick them. All right.
Green Bay at Detroit.
Detroit,
Washington at Dallas.
Dallas.
San Fran at Seattle.
San Fran.
I'm gonna say San Fran.
You're supposed to be picking with us. Supposed to be picking with us here.
Miami at the Jets.
Miami.
Steelers at the Bengals.
Ooh,
Steelers.
I'm gonna go Steelers.
Steelers.
Jacksonville at Houston.
Houston. I'm with you there.
Let me do this. There we go.
Yes.
Houston, you said?
Yeah.
Tampa Bay at Indy.
I like the Colts there.
Colts.
I'm going to take Indy as well.
Saints at Falcons.
I'm going to take
Saints.
Atlanta.
I'm gonna go Saints. What'd you say, Uncle Sam?
Saints.
Saints.
Saints. New England at the Giants.
Wow. Holy shit.
I'm going to take
have
the
a
New
toilet
England
bowl.
Patriots.
I'm going to
win.
take the New York Giants. Tommy DeVito gets his first one.
Danny DeVito gets his first win.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Giants as well.
Carolina at Tennessee.
I like the Titans.
Carolina.
I like the
I'm going
Titans.
to take Carolina.
Oh, that's 2 for Carolina. LA at Arizona. Or the Rams at Arizona.
Give me the Rams in that, I think.
I'm gonna go Cardinals.
Take Arizona.
Okay.
Cardinals.
Cardinals.
Cleveland at Denver.
Ooh,
Denver.
Denver.
Kansas City at Las Vegas.
Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Buffalo at Philly.
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 Baltimore at Chargers.
Baltimore.
Bears at Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Vikings.
Who's that?
Bears at Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Okay.
Keep it going.
So that doesn't change anything except switches. Has Houston winning the AFC South, but still playing Jacksonville.
Yep.
So, and it changes the divisional game,
For Miami. Miami's got a home
Lions
game
are playing the
against
Seahawks
Pittsburgh.
now.
and the Lions play the Seahawks. Yeah. All right. Next week, go.
Seattle at Dallas.
I'm gonna go Dallas.
I'm going to go Dallas.
Dallas.
Chargers at New England.
Chargers.
Chargers.
Arizona at Pitt.
Pitts-
Give me
Arizona.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh reluctantly.
Carolina at Tampa Bay.
Oh, God. Give me
Tampa.
Tampa.
Tampa, yeah.
Colts in Tennessee.
I'll give that one to the Titans.
Oh, I'm the tiebreaker. I'm gonna go Titans.
Lions at Saints.
Lions.
Atlanta at New York Jets.
Give me the Jets.
Atlanta.
I'll take the Jets there too.
Oh,
Miami at Washington.
Miami.
Miami.
Oh. Denver at Houston.
I'm gonna go the Broncos there.
Broncos.
Ooh, that's
Okay.
good. San Fran at Philly.
Oh. Give
You
me.
know where I'm going.
This could change for me, but I'm gonna go the Eagles right now.
I'm going to go
Eagles.
Frisco.
That's 2 for Philly.
Eagles at home in the cold weather.
Cleveland at the Rams.
Cleveland.
Yeah, I'll go Cleveland too.
Kansas City,
City.
at Green Bay.
You know, no one's gonna
Who?
game plan harder for
Kansas
Stafford
City
than
where?
Jim Schwartz.
Green
Kansas
Bay.
City at
Kansas City.
Kansas City.
And Cincinnati at Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
I like Jacksonville too.
Honest to God, I wouldn't be shocked if Cincinnati wins 1 or 2 more games all year.
All
none of
you've
that's
done
changed.
So far
It's
is
all the
move
same. Look.
Miami up.
All we've done. Well, no,
The only
no,
difference is that Miami got the 2 seed now.
no. Denver kicked Houston out.
Oh,
Denver kicked Houston out. The NFC has not changed, but
So
Denver kicked
Denver's
Houston
in.
out.
The seeding has just changed the NFC, but who cares
Correct.
about that anyways?
Denver kicked Houston out. Week 14, Bruce.
New England at Steelers.
Give me Pittsburgh
Pittsburgh,
at home.
Tampa Bay at Atlanta.
Give me Atlanta at home.
Atlanta,
Colts at Cincy.
Colts.
I think
Col-
Cincy still finds a way to win that. game.
I'll give it to the Bengals there.
Jacksonville at Cleveland.
Oh,
I'm gonna take
I'm gonna take
Cleveland.
Jacks.
I'm gonna take Cleveland.
Tiebreaker.
I'm gonna take Cleveland.
Oh my God.
I would have chose Jacksonville. Houston at the Jets.
Give me Houston.
I'm gonna go with the
Jets.
Jets on that one.
2 for the Jets. Rams.
Aaron Rodgers will be back by then.
Rams at Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Baltimore,
Lions at Bears.
Lions.
Lions,
Carolina at New Orleans.
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
New Orleans, I guess.
Mini at Las Vegas.
I'm gonna go Raiders.
I
there.
like the Raiders there too.
Seattle at San Fran.
Frisco.
San Francisco.
Buffalo at KC.
Oh,
The Chiefs.
honestly,
Kansas City.
I was gonna take Buffalo in this game because I think at this rate we're gonna have the Chiefs winning every game the rest of the year, Philly winning every game the rest of the year, Lions winning every game the rest of the year. At some point, Kansas City will stumble. I would take that as their stumble, but they both said Kansas City, so it doesn't matter.
Denver at Chargers.
Oh
Denver.
wow.
I would go LA in this game.
I'm gonna go the Chargers on that one.
Denver.
Philly at Dallas.
Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas. I'm with you.
Really?
Yeah.
They gotta lose one. Like,
Yeah.
They gotta lose.
They almost
one.
had him last time.
Green Bay at the Giants.
Go Packers, baby.
Yeah, Packers are gonna get that one.
Go
Get
Danny DeVito.
Tennessee at Miami.
Miami.
Dolphins.
Okay, so what changed up here now? Houston's back in now.
How the fuck did Philly fall to a fucking
I'll tell you why.
one loss?
Because
It's
we gave
hard to
Dallas the
explain.
win.
Because in this process, so Dallas is only 1 game or 2 games back,
Correct.
and
Back.
they're two back as it stands right now.
Right.
We've given the Eagles 2 losses. We gave them a loss at Kansas City, and I think this is going to hold. I think they're going to lose 2 out of those 5 games at least. So we gave them the loss at Dallas, and they'll hold the
You trying to
tiebreaker.
tell me that they're gonna wind up being a fucking wild card?
Well, we're not done yet.
We're not done.
We got to go next week.
We're not
Next
done.
week.
Chargers at Las Vegas.
I like the Chargers.
Atlanta at Carolina.
Wait, you two have to.
I'm conflicted on that one. Chargers or Raiders?
both of you
Really?
have
At
to pick
Vegas. At Vegas.
Chargers.
Okay.
All right.
Atlanta at Carolina.
Carolina.
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Mini at Cincy.
Ooh, God.
Who?
Minnesota.
I like the Bengals there. I don't
like
think Jake
Minnesota.
Browning is that bad.
All right,
It
give me.
doesn't
You know what?
matter.
No, give me Cincinnati in that game. You're right.
Bengals.
Bears at Cleveland.
Browns.
That's
Cleveland.
a game that Cleveland loses. They lose one fucked up game. That's it. Go Cleveland. They both pick Cleveland.
Both. Okay. Denver at Detroit.
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 Denver.
Well, hold on. Solo hasn't spoken yet. Is that the
So-
Lions one
so
fuck up?
If my
that's
projection, if my
I thought it was at
projection
Denver.
is the way it is, I do think the Lions are due for 1. and
Right
I
now,
do
we have the
think Denver
Chargers
is
making the
very good.
fucking playoffs.
Yeah, we do. I'm gonna go with the Lions on this one. This could be their only home loss, though.
Right now, Detroit's the 1 seed. Okay. Pittsburgh at Indy.
Colts.
Pitt.
Jets at Miami.
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 Houston at Tennessee.
Oof. Houston, reluctantly.
Houston reluctantly.
Tampa Bay at Green Bay.
Tampa Bay.
Tampa.
They're both taking Green Bay. Give it to Green Bay.
No, I'll give it to Tampa.
Tampa.
They have enough to win that game.
Giants at Saints.
The Saints.
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 San Fran at Arizona.
Frisco.
San Francisco.
Commanders at the Rams.
Ooh, that's a fun one.
Give me the Commanders.
Yeah, I like the Commanders at
Yeah.
that point because they're kind of in it, right?
Yeah. They're on the fringe here.
Dallas at Buffalo.
Dallas.
I'm gonna take
No,
Buffalo.
I like Buffalo in
I
that.
do too. At home, I'll take Buffalo.
There you go.
Philly
Now
and
your Eagles are
Seattle.
back.
Huh?
It's in Seattle too, right?
Seattle.
Who is it?
I'll take Philadelphia in that game.
Philly.
I'm taking Seattle just for the record.
Okay.
Baltimore.
That could change,
at
though.
Jacksonville.
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Kansas City at New England.
Kansas
Kansas
City.
City.
Fuck, that's gonna be an awful game. Okay, so now what changed here?
The
So
You got
Phillies-
Atlanta in here
the
now.
Eagles- the two
Atlanta's
seed.
a wild card team. So Atlanta bounced out Seattle. Philadelphia took the division again, made Dallas a wild card team. The Chargers make it in. Houston as a division winner, and Jacksonville's no longer in the play.
I wish I had a telestrator so I could explain how dreamy of a scenario that would be for the Lions. The only team, so after they'd have the bye, number one, then let's say 2 or 3 win, or 2 and 3 win, which is Eagles or Niners, whatever.
Where are we at right now? What week is this?
This is week 15, so we got 3
All
more to
right,
do.
zip through this. Let's go.
All right, sorry.
You got to go, no?
I'm good. Nobody worry about me. I got
Saints
10
at
minutes at
Rams.
least.
Who
I
is
would
it?
I'm going to go with the Rams.
I would go Saints. Uncle Sam break the tie.
Who is it?
Saints,
Saints
and Rams.
at Rams.
Saints at Rams. I'm going to go Rams.
Bengals at Steelers.
Steelers.
Buffalo at Chargers.
Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Cleveland.
I was going
at
to take
Houston.
the Chargers.
Cleveland at Houston.
Houston,
Oh, wow.
That was 2 for
it's
you.
at home. Houston at home.
Huh?
2 for Houston.
Commanders at Jets.
Jets.
Command.
I like the Jets too. It's your Aaron Rodgers theory.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
is
the
he
game
back?
comes back. Yeah.
All right, the Jets.
Okay, well they're already on there. Seattle at Tennessee.
Seattle.
Seattle.
Indy at Atlanta.
Atlanta.
I'm taking Atlanta at home again.
Green Bay at Carolina.
Green Bay.
I'm going to go
I'm
Carolina.
going to go Green Bay.
Lions at Minnesota.
I think the Lions lose that game.
I'm going to go Lions on that one.
Minnesota.
Whoa.
Wow. Jacksonville at Tampa Bay.
Jacks.
Jacksonville.
Tampa Bay.
Arizona at Chicago.
Oof,
Cardinals.
that's a shit bowl.
Cardinals.
That's a shit bowl.
That's fucking.
That's a full toilet right there,
Murray.
baby.
That's got Kyler Murray all over it.
Full toilet.
Dallas at Miami.
Miami.
The Dolphins at home.
I think the Cowboys for what it's worth.
Break the tie.
No,
He
you
said
already,
Miami.
you already said Miami. You already said Miami.
Miami.
Oh, you picked Miami? Oh, wow.
New
Miami.
England at Denver.
Denver. You want to know
Denver.
what? That could be that one game that somehow Belichick musters out in a fucked up way, but give me Denver. still.
Denver.
Las Vegas at Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Giants at Philly.
Eagles.
Philly.
Baltimore at San Fran.
Give me Baltimore.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I'm going to go with the
I'm
Ravens.
going to go with the Ravens on that.
Yeah.
Okay, we all picked the Ravens.
Yeah.
So, okay, what do we got here now? Nothing changed in the NFC besides Philly took the 1 seed. Lions dropped into the 2 spot. And I don't think anything changed AFC except Jacksonville makes it as a wild card team, and Jacksonville bounced out whom?
Where's the Chargers? They're
The
out.
Chargers. Jacksonville bounced
Yeah.
the Chargers.
All right,
Okay.
keep going.
Week 17,
This
Jets
is big.
at Browns.
Who is it?
the Jets at Cleveland. Honest to
Cleveland?
God,
That's a tough one.
Aaron Rodgers,
No, Aaron
is
Rodgers
back.
is back.
Give me the Jets.
win.
Jets go to the dog pound and crush their fucking dreams.
Lions at Dallas.
This
I'm gonna take
the Cowboys.
I'm
the
gonna take
Cowboys.
Dallas.
just because it's at Dallas.
Bandwagon.
It's not bandwagon. It's called
No,
realism.
I think at Dallas. I don't think they're going to lose at Minnesota. I think they are going to lose at Dallas.
Who's this?
Miami at Baltimore.
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 This game is going to have so many implications. That
Oh, yeah.
game will have all the implications.
Great game.
In the world.
New England at Buffalo.
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 Atlanta at Chicago.
Atlanta.
I'm going to go Chicago.
I'm gonna go Chicago,
Las Vegas at Indy.
Give me Vegas.
Vegas,
Carolina at Jacksonville.
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 Tennessee at Houston.
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 Rams at Giants.
Rams.
Rams,
Arizona at Philly.
Philly.
Philly,
New Orleans at Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay.
I'm going to go New Orleans.
yeah, New Orleans,
San Fran at Commanders.
Niners.
Niners,
Commanders. Oh, doesn't matter anyways.
Pittsburgh at Seattle.
Oh, wow. That's going to be a good one
gonna-
there.
you know
I'm gonna,
what?
I'm going to take
I'm gonna-
Pittsburgh in that
I'm
game.
gonna take Seattle.
I'm going to take Seattle at home.
Okay.
Seattle,
Cincinnati at Kansas
This
City.
game doesn't matter anymore.
Kansas City.
KC.
Chargers at Denver.
Denver,
I like Denver as well. Cold weather at home.
Green Bay at Minnesota.
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 Motherfucker.
Okay,
Week
so
18.
hold on.
So this
Nothing
would be,
changed. Literally nothing changed there. Nothing changed.
No. Someone else was in last. Someone else was in last where Seattle was. We put Seattle back in there.
Arizona or Atlanta. You
Atlanta
guys
was,
took
We took Atlanta over the Colts.
You
or
guys
something like
took-
or the Colts over someone bad.
Okay.
we had Atlanta lose. That's all I know.
Okay.
So Atlanta's out.
Atlanta's out, Seattle's back in.
Week 8.
Okay.
Week 18. Here we go. So this ends it.
This is the last week.
Last week.
Seattle at Arizona.
Seattle.
No, see? I don't think so.
I think it's Arizona.
If they that's going to be the thorn in the side game for Seattle like the Lions had last year.
All right, give me Arizona.
That's the thorn in the fucking side game. I'm taking
guess. I don't know.
Kyler
Guys
Murray.
win.
That's Kyler Murray's Super Bowl.
You guys win.
Yeah.
Steelers at Baltimore.
Give me Pittsburgh.
Baltimore. It's on you.
Baltimore.
Oh my God.
Tampa Bay at Carolina.
Tampa.
Tampa.
Yes.
That's a shit bowl.
Cleveland at Cincy.
Oh, another shit bowl.
Cincinnati.
In
I'm
Ohio.
going to take Cincinnati here.
A shit bowl in a toilet.
Minnesota at Detroit.
I like the Lions.
Detroit.
Chicago at Green Bay.
Green Bay.
Yeah, the Packers.
Houston at Indy.
I
Houston.
like.
No, you know what?
Yeah, I like Indy
that's
here.
that's a game Houston loses for the division.
I think they lost to him week 2 as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
I like Houston. I like the Colts. I like the
Okay.
Colts.
Colts.
Kansas City at Chargers.
I think
Kansas
they're-
City will have already clinched the 1 seed and lose this game.
Yeah,
Correct.
I'm with you
Chargers.
there.
Yep.
I'm with you there.
The Chargers.
Denver at Las Vegas.
Denver,
Sure.
Buffalo at Miami.
Miami,
Miami.
Miami. Jets at New England.
Jets.
Jets,
Atlanta at New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Atlanta.
We're taking Atlanta in this.
Oh,
You guys are
we
high on
just
the
fucked it
Falcons.
all up right
that's.
there.
I mean, no, that's the dream scenario
That's
where
the
I
dream
stand.
I agree. I agree.
Philly at Giants.
Philly.
Giants.
Yeah, that's
Giants.
it could.
Philly already
No,
clinched, and
no,
they
no,
probably won't
because
play
the
half
Lions
their
are on
guys.
the Eagles'
right.
heels. The Lions are going to be on the
Lions,
Eagles'
yeah.
heels, so the Eagles are going to need to win the game.
I agree.
Okay.
Take Philly.
Rams at San Fran.
Niners,
Frisco.
Niners.
Jacksonville at Tennessee.
Jags,
Jacksonville.
Jags.
Dallas at Washington.
Dallas.
Washington. It's their Super Bowl.
That's usually a game the Commanders,
Dallas.
Listen,
much
this
as I don't
is
want
a game that Dak Prescott will shit away.
That's it.
All right.
There's your-
So this is how it wraps up. Kansas City 1 seed bye in the AFC. Philadelphia 1 seed bye in the NFC. The Lions win the division and are the 2 seed at 13-4. The 49ers win the division and are the 3 seed at 13-4. Correct? I can barely see that far. Is it 12-5?
12-5.
12-5. And then New Orleans win the division. What's their record, Bruce?
9-8.
Oh, God. And then wild card scenarios for the NFC: Dallas in 5th at 12-5, Minnesota at 6th, 9-8, and Atlanta at 7th, 8-9. And the ones just on the outside looking in are from the NFC. I can't see this. I can't see that from here. What's Green Bay's record?
Right now?
No, it says
At the end of
Proj.
this?
Yeah.
6-11.
What about
Okay,
the Cardinals?
go down. What's Seattle? Because Seattle's out. Seattle's 8-9. So Seattle's 8-9 and out, and Atlanta's 8-9 and in. Okay, as far as AFC goes, Baltimore wins the division, goes 14-3 for the 2 seed. Miami wins their division and goes 13-4. Jacksonville wins their division, goes 11-6. 5 seed Pittsburgh at 11-6, 6 seed Denver at 10-7, and the 7 seed Houston at 10-7. And on the outside looking in for the AFC, Buffalo finishes 9-8 and misses by 1 game, as do the Jets. The Chargers miss by 1 game at 9-8. Cleveland at 10-7 just misses. What about that?
That's crazy. You go 10-7 and not make the fucking playoffs.
Yeah. Well, because there's
That
2
kinda
other
crazy.
10-7 teams.
No, I get that, but I'm just saying. You believe that shit? because you know their record's going to be better than the winner of the division with Jacksonville in it,
Yeah, I agree.
Houston in it. You know,
Yeah. And that Indy 7-10, Vegas 7-10, New England 2-15, the Giants 3-14. Wouldn't it be something if New England ended up with the number 1 overall pick? Wow.
it could.
They could use that.
Okay. So that was riveting. We need to keep up. I think in another 2 weeks we should do this again. Maybe we could integrate that into the Wednesday show.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, 100%.
Wait, doing this again?
Yeah, on the Wednesday shows.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
down.
We should do the
We'd
Yeah, 'cause
have to
each-
pick the
each
games.
week
the
it's going
problem.
to change.
correct.
We'd have to pick the games every Wednesday.
So-
But I mean,
Well, then you know what?
the slate is not loaded until week 16 or 17. So we can pick through these games quick and do it on the Friday show every week and go through
Right.
it.
Yeah.
It's a fun way to do it.
You're right. Okay, that's what we should do then.
Okay.
Anything to add before we close it out?
Nope.
Zola?
No.
Titty?
Nope.
Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Tip Balls Podcast. Make sure to follow our socials, Instagram and Twitter at Tip Balls, TikTok at Tip Balls Podcast. If you're listening to us on Apple or Spotify, you probably won't like this show very much because you kind of need to be watching it. So you should go check us out on YouTube and remember to subscribe so you get notified when we go live. Join us in the chat every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And guess what? We'll be back better than ever on Monday.
Got a big one Monday
A
too.
Victory Monday. Yeah, we
Big
need to
one.
talk Michigan. We'll talk Michigan.
Eagles.